Welcome, everybody. It's Reverend Chris. I'm back. I haven't done a what used to be called an Angels at 40,000 foot reading for a couple of months now, and I will not be doing those readings anymore. They are being replaced by the Angel's View from 40,000 feet. I am no longer, these are prophetic and informative messages and visions that I am being given in regards to current and upcoming events, and there are no cards involved. For those of you who want personal readings, I can still do those with cards or without, but this is the way it goes from now on, and there won't be any cards, but boy, do I have a lot to tell you. Today's message from my team, there were 5 separate points to it. That's why I'm doing it here. I have been doing shorter posts on Facebook, online, to introduce these things to people and let them know what was going on. But this is 5 points that I just really needed to get in and do the video. Plus, my afternoon was free. I was ready, and it is snowing like a son of a gun out there. I got to show you the snow. This is crazy how it's snowing out there right now. Can you see that? We're supposed to be getting anywhere from, I don't know, 8 inches to a foot of snow by the time it's all done. So let's begin. So the messages I got today started out with, um, well, yeah, first things first. Let's address the elephant in the room. You will see that I have a couple teeth missing here. I have dental issues that have to be addressed, and I'm waiting for the solution to these to come to me. And those of you in the US will know that one, dental insurance is ridiculous to begin with in the US, but once you get onto Medicare and Social Security, it's even more ridiculous. So the copays, even with insurance, the copays are beyond the ability of most of us who are on Social Security to be able to pay for the repairs and the remedies that are needed. So this, these are my battle scars. These are the results. These are like karma. All right. I can tell you that I passed judgment on so many people for their dental issues over the years. And here I am. So if you're experiencing judgment, looking at me and thinking, oh, I should have done something, just remember that life is a mirror and what we put out is what we get back in some form. This is the last time I'm going to mention it because it's sitting and staring you in the face. I want you to know that I'm aware of it. I'm moving forward with it until God grants me the solution to take care of this, whatever that is. So now let's move on with this amazing reading. So the first thing that came to me this morning, and I'm still getting used to the way they do this. So I'm looking for what is this energy? What's this interference going on? It's not like they, tap me on the shoulder and say, hello, we have something we'd like to tell you. No, there's some kind of an energetic signal that I have got yet to get used to fully decoding and recognizing it for what it is. So I go through all of this stuff trying to figure out what is going on here. And then eventually I get to, oh, you want to tell me something? Good, here. So once we got through all of that this morning, the very first image that I was given was of Archangel Gabriel blowing the shofar with the hosts of heaven arrayed behind him, fully armed and ready for battle. The shofar was the call to battle. And I was shown that the battle is now engaged. Heaven and God's angels are, and the heavenly host are fully engaged in the battle against evil, not only in this country, but globally, because what's taking place here is taking place other places too. It affects all of us. But this is where the battle has to be staged. This is where our, the global Gettysburg is taking place, or the global Battle of the Bulge, if you want to look at it in different terms. Angels always guide me to these things. I saw that just this morning to and as a comparison. So I always have these things in the background saying, "Oh yeah, that's what it is." So this is what's going on. This battle is engaged now. The battle is engaged, and the forces of heaven are taking down strongholds of evil and corruption. And you will see these strongholds fall. All of the things that the dark has depended upon to support them, to be behind them, to keep them exempt from discovery and punishment, are being taken down. They are being rendered totally and completely. The first signs of this is the battleground states for the election that are being contested. You are going to see a number of court wins and rulings in favor of audits and impounding machines and recounts and um, forensic analysis of the programs and what went on and what went on beyond the machines. So this is the first thing. You've seen a couple little cases where the courts have said, okay, look, they loosed the audit in Wisconsin, was it, or Michigan, right? The judge said no, release that audit. There's more of that coming. I'm not seeing the Supreme Court involved at this time. At some point, they will get involved. That's going to involve Sidney Powell's cases that she's bringing on. But right now, the strongholds that the evil forces have been counted upon were in the court system. And those strongholds have been taken down. Not happening anymore. And also, I'm getting, as I'm saying to you, not only are those strongholds, the reason some of the strongholds are being taken down, because even judges who can see what's going on and who would normally take cases and rule in favor of the rule of law have been threatened. Them and their families are being threatened with bodily harm or some other kind of exposure for whatever it is. Um, they are being threatened and have not come forward and done due diligence because of that. They have avoided, they have set these things aside, said, no, we're not going to hear it. I'm dismissing this, whatever. The strongholds that are coming down are also the strongholds of threats of violence. Oh, yes, big yes on that. The people that are orchestrating that are coming against others who are working according to God's will and God's law and the rule of law are being removed. You're not going to see that. They're just going to disappear. But now these judges and their families can be in peace, and the judges can do the job that they want to do and they're paid to do, and they were elected and assigned to do. So you're going to see more and more of that happening as the forces that are providing these threats are removed. Ooh, yes, really strong. See, I love when I get into the readings for you guys. I get certain when I'm reading, and then as I am conveying it to you, there's more information coming in. So that's what I'm passing to you now. So that's what's happening in that area of things. That was the first message that I was given. Now, another one of the strongholds. Well, actually, the second message is about the court wins, the court rulings in the battleground states. Then the third one, another stronghold, civil disobedience, and you're seeing some of that, and I talked about it a while back. Um, but civil disobedience across this country and in other places globally in regards to the tyranny, UK is a big one right now, and Australia, the tyranny of these COVID emergency declarations, decrees, and rules that are being put out that have no constitutional support whatsoever, are totally indiscriminate, have no basis in real science. And remember, people, anytime somebody says, well, the science says, okay, let's go look at the science. Well, this quote unquote science over here says this, and this quote unquote science says this about the same exact thing. Well, why is that? Because science has been corrupted by politics just like everything else. Money, threats, you name it. There are scientists who are enjoined to create certain results or in their analysis to discern that or conclude certain results that support the agenda of those who are paying for the study or the salaries of those people or paying endowments to universities. You think none of that comes into play when we're talking about science? People hold up science as the be all and end all. It's not. It's just as corrupt as every other damn thing going now. And that has to get cleaned up. That's just part of what comes after all of this. This is cleaning up that mess. That will come down too. The universities, that's another stronghold, but that's not being addressed right now. That's going to come later. So, civil disobedience in a large scale, you're starting to see it. There are restaurant owners in LA, and I think some in New York too, who are saying, screw you. You know, business owners who they're getting together and they're saying, we all have to just get in at one time all together and open up our businesses. They can't possibly arrest all of us, and we'll take them to court if they try. Because I'll guarantee you, if they took their cases to court, that the the bans would be declared unconstitutional, just like the church rulings that have come down, because these tyrannical idiots said, oh, it was okay to have riots and protests in the street. It's okay to do all kinds of other things that involve being together in groups, but it's not okay to go to church and worship God, especially if you're a Christian or a Jew. You're not allowed to go to church. You're not allowed to gather in a park with your masks on. So the Supreme Court said, First Amendment says no, 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 right? So be watching for this. The civil disobedience is erupting all over, and it's going to get bigger and more, and it's going to start being effective because these tyrants that are producing these decrees, and oh, look to Michigan. Gretchen Whitmer and her um, attorney general, they are drinking some really bad, dark Kool-Aid. They are totally submerged and submersed in the programming. They probably have some really nasty things that are being held over their heads, blackmail wise, that if they don't toe the line and do this, that, or the other thing, they're toast. Well, trust me, the hordes and hosts of heavens are going to make sure that they're toast no matter what. And their best chance is by turning over a new leaf and opening up to the light. If they don't, they'll manifest, they will reap what they've sown. Period. End of story. I've said that in a post recently. It is the time of the reaping. God is gathering the sheaves, and everybody is going to be reaping what they've sown. And we're going to start seeing this. Some of it we won't see, but a good part of it we will. Enough to know, oh boy, God's called in the big guns. Okay. I wrote a post last week about Lucifer being ticked off that things weren't going his way, that we were breaking free of his control to a point where he couldn't get it back, that the fear mongering isn't working for us anymore. And so all of the earthbound minions that had been put in charge of creating the fear or keeping control or keeping us emotionally attached and tethered weren't doing their job. So he called in his own supernatural lieutenants to try and bring us back under control. So be on the lookout for that, right? Eyes open. We know the playbook, folks. We know exactly the kinds of things that are going to be done. And even if it's something new, the responses that they're looking for is the same response: fear. Fear and scurrying back to a corner, saying, oh no, we can't do that. No. Say no. And if you are somebody who is in fear right now for any reason, I ask you to look that fear in the face and ask yourself, why? What is that fear doing? How is that fear controlling you and keeping you from doing something else? What is the worst case scenario that you are imagining? And what would happen to you if that worst case scenario happened, or the people around you? And then look at, in case of COVID, get online and start looking at the statistics and the percentages and who is truly at risk from this. Start researching and looking. You've got to do it, people. This is going to go to one of the next ones that came up. And just so that you know, when it comes to these despots that are in place in our governments, both in the U.S. and around the world, in regards to COVID, probably get in trouble for saying the word. Um, they are, these are strongholds that are coming down. These people are going to be rendered politically impotent, no longer able to perform the duties of their office because they misread what those duties are. They're not there to rule over us. They're there to administrate on our behalf. Period. End of story. We give them the power, we can take it away. Just like God. The Lord giveth, the Lord taketh away. Well, he's on a rampage right now, and the taking away is coming in big time. Now, number 4 for today's reading. The fourth was in regards to the divine masculine. The divine masculine energies and the divine masculine qualities are being lit up in all of us holding the light. And what does that mean? Why divine masculine? Why is God in heaven lighting that up so strongly? It wasn't even, I couldn't even use the term illuminated or charged. No, this is like, electrical paddles getting your heart started again. Boom! This is what this is. The charge on the divine masculine is massive that's coming into us. And why is that? What is one of the most important masculine elements? Action. It is a call to action, to do something, to support, to be in our power, and to express that power outwardly. That is one of the hallmark signature qualities of divine masculine is action, and to express our inner divine power and presence outwardly into the world. So, whether you are a prayer warrior, whether you are a light warrior, whether you are a civil disobedient person, whether you are involved with the law and cases, whether you are politically active, medically active, whatever it is that is your calling, whatever it is that you're called to do, because you are going to know this massive influx of light and energy to the divine masculine is going to also direct you to what is yours to do, how you're supposed to take action. You will know. It will come naturally, and you will get up and speak up, speak out, do, march. If you are literally, if you are a soldier, you're getting that call. If you are um, a patriot, no matter what country you are in the world, and you're being called to support right makes might, right? Like the Arthurian rules of the round table. We have been living by might makes right for a long time. No, right makes might. And we are going to be in the right, expressing our might out into the world. If it means that that is coming from our voice, if we're to make phone calls till we're blue in the face, to senators and judges and congressmen and congresspeople and mayors and civil servants of all kinds, and make a stink and make our voices heard till they get sick and tired of picking up the phone, and they are living in the knowledge that they better get off their butts and do something, or they don't have a job anymore because they work for us. Okay? Remember that. It's time for us to get out of victim mode, out of the victim, the wounded divine feminine, and move into right now the power of the true divine masculine, expressing our divine right and might out into the world as one, in concert. God's got the heavenly host activated and is activating us as well, saying it's time. We are all in this together as one. Wasn't that in the Braveheart? Was that something in the Braveheart movie? There's a movie. Everybody said as one. And I can't remember what that was, where it was. If somebody remembers it and can share it with me, I would love you to share it in the comments. All right, so that was number 4. Now the last thing is actually kind of surprising, and I'm surprised that I got as much detail as I did on it, but I did, so I'm going to go with it. There is a massive awakening event coming up. Can't tell you when, but it's going to be soon. It's going to be soon. Before the end of the year. Oof, yeah, big yes on that. Before Christmas. All right. So, this awakening event has something to do with the CV-19 and what we have been told about it. And there is one of the multimedia channels that is going to do a total flip, a reversal. They are going to come out and tell the truth. They are going to expose what is really happening for whatever reason. I don't know. That I'm not privy to. But I'm getting that there is going to be like a total 180-degree exposure of truth where this channel has all along been feeding the lies, right? And feeding the disinformation. But this is the beginning of that stronghold coming down. And I'm told that the station, should I say this, team? I'm told yes, the station to be looking for this to come from is MSNBC. Now, I don't feel comfortable giving you that much detail, but I'm being told that that's what to say. All right. Now, some of this may have something to do with the fact that Catherine Herridge now works for MSNBC. She cut ties with Fox a year or so ago. But she is a spot on reporter, and what she tells you truth, and she tends to tell things that the other media wouldn't tell you or allow their reporters to tell you. Apparently, in her contract with them, she says it like it is, and she decides what she tells. Um, I don't know if this is going to be coming through her or just because of her influence or because some kind of a stronghold coming down at the top of that station. I don't know. But again, another stronghold. The media is coming under attack and there will be exposed. And the people that are going to wake up when they see this and say, wait a minute, that's not what you've been telling us all this time. A lot of them won't even believe it. They say, oh, yeah, right now, all of a sudden you're telling us this. I don't believe it. I think you're telling me lies now. That's going to happen. But there are going to be more and more people who are going to see this and they are going to wake up and say, whoa, if you're telling us this now and you've been feeding us this other garbage all along, what else haven't you been telling us? What else have you been keeping from us or limiting our ability to understand? So there's a massive awakening coming up, and I don't know. Part of it has to do with awakening to the way the MSM has been misleading the public. But I think the other part of it has to do with the information itself that's coming out. And that's going to be huge. I said a couple of months back that there was something huge going to be exposed that was going to just make this whole virus thing crumble and go away. I don't know if this is it, but it might be close. Getting this close. Yeah. Ooh. It's the first shot across the bow is what I just heard. Okay. So that's what I've got. Don't just take my word for things, all right? I come into you and I give what I'm given to tell you. Um, but I never ask you to just lean on me to tell you what to think or what's coming. I expect that you are going to test it for yourselves. To talk to Holy Spirit, your higher selves, your guidance. And make sure you're connected to God when you do. Otherwise, your ego is going to intervene. test it for yourself. But this is what's come to me today, and it's come very strongly today, or I wouldn't be here talking to you via this video today. True confessions and all. Be awake, keep your head and your awareness and your antenna up and aware and going, head on a swivel. Be watching, looking at what's going on, be waiting for things to change. But at the same time, remember, nothing that I have been talking to people, and my team has had me preparing enough food and supplies to be put aside. You know, some people were saying 6 weeks. My team, for me, it was 3 months. I went with 3 months. And so far, the reason that we were asked to do that has not borne fruit yet. But I'm being told that it will. And we're going to be glad that we put stuff aside when it does. It may only be 2 weeks. It could be 6 weeks. It could be 3 months. It could be 2 months. That we are in a limited situation. But whatever it is, my team says it's still coming. So I have to believe that. If I don't believe that, and I don't believe what I'm receiving from my divine team, then I've got no business being here, as I've said before. So here I am. This is what I'm telling you, and you take and do with it as you are guided to. So, thank you, beloved ones. It's Wednesday, December 16th, and God only knows what is coming forth from this day based on what I have told you, but it's all good. It's all filled with light. It's the hosts of heaven taking charge and enlisting us to assist. So if we take action from our end and they take it, oh, that was the other thing I got shown. I got shown the pincer movement. And now I know what the pincers are. The pincers are heaven and the pincers are us. Coming together, surrounding the forces of evil and darkness in this world and defeating them. Yes, thank you for that reminder. Yes, yes, thank you. And you may see as another part of the reaping, what you sow, there may be people who were involved in all of these sex trafficking cases and disappearances. They may be disappearing, never to be heard from again. Nobody will ever know what happened to them. And it's not going to be made public. These people are just going to disappear like the people that they abducted disappeared. Divine justice taking place. So I'll end there. And bless you all. Have a wonderful rest of your day. And if I don't speak to you before then, wish you all the most merry of Christmases and Happy New Year's. I'm expecting lots of good news to be coming to us between, excuse me, now and then. Blessing to you. And so it is. Thank you.